Hello, everyone, and welcome to another masterclass where we are going to understand what it really means to be a business analyst or an agile project manager and working with a tool known as JIRA or JIRA. Some persons say JIRA, some persons say JIRA, whichever works your both. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing today, and we're going to have an amazing time. But before we move on, I would want to hear from us. I want to know, just send your name and where you're joining us from to the chat box so we get to start the networking process because networking is one big thing that each and everyone should be a part of. So let's get it done. Okay, just send your name and where you're joining us from to the chat box so we get to introduce ourselves before we move on. Okay, so you can just send your name and where you're joining us from the chat box. I need responses. Okay, I need responses. Something that we're going to do today, or rather, one of the things that we're going to do today, it's going to be very, very interactive. And what that means is that we need to communicate. Okay, and so the first thing that we're going to do is to introduce yourself. So all you need to do, just send your name and where you're joining us from to the chat box, and then we take it from there. Okay, so I believe everyone should be able to send a message. Okay, so you can just go ahead to send your name and where you're joining us from to the chat box. You should be able to do that now. Okay, so while we do that, I would like to tell us a story, and later on, I'm going to tell you the moral of the story. Once upon a time, we had we had two men. Okay, we had one man and we had another man. We are going to call the first man man A, and we are going to call the other man man B. So what was the peculiarity? What is the story about? You have man A and man B, but what really happened? So man A wanted to do something else. What man A was doing at that time, wasn't really pleasant. And it was more of just doing things to survive. Man A wanted to make that switch, do something amazing, make cool money, make the Benjamins, as I always say, be able to cater for one's needs, and not just one's needs, but also one's wants. And man B wanted something similar, but they went in two different directions. They both wanted to achieve the same thing, but they went in different directions in trying to achieve that same thing. And we're going to learn more about the story. I'm going to complete the story later on. Okay, but I can see that texts are already coming in, introductions are already coming in. We'll come back to what happened to man A and man B and how that can affect each and every one of us on the call. Okay, but I want us to, like I said, network. And so we have Marcus from London. We have Patricia from the UK. We have Vera from Ontario. We have Isaac from the UK. We have Elijah from the US. We have Rahimat from Nigeria. What about the rest of us? Okay, I need more responses. BB, where are you from? BJ, who knows? Maybe someone is looking for this. Someone is looking to give an opportunity. And maybe the 10th name or the second name, their names or their introduction to the chat box at the end of the day, or rather at the end of the session. Okay, so we always want to take opportunities whenever we find it. That's Tokwe from the US. Thank you very much, Tokwe. Blessing, what about you? Where are you from? Femi, what about you? Daniel, Isaac, Oluwaseun, where are you guys from? I want to know. It all starts it all starts from the UK. We have Obi from Canada. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I started with a story. I'm going to continue that story. I will. But for you to understand for you to know how the story ends and how that affects you, there's something you need to do. You need to ensure you're listening and that you still till the end of the session. This story, or the story I began, is something that many of us, this is a situation that may find ourselves on a day-to-day. Now, it's now for you to decide which man would you be. Would you either be man A or would you be man B? It might be tricky now for you to know where do you stand, since you don't really know what man A did and what man B did. So for you to get all of that, just hold up. I'll get there. But first of all, what we are doing today is we're going to take a look at JIRA. Like I mentioned, we are going to see how you can use JIRA or JIRA. Some persons do call it JIRA. Maybe I myself, from time to time, I've called it JIRA as well. Okay, anyone works with it. So we are going to see how you can use JIRA in your role as a business analyst or an agile project manager, trying to bring in practicality into the session that we are going to be having today. That's what we're going to be doing. But as I always love to say, especially for those of us that we are just joining such a session, this is the first time we are doing that. I usually love to introduce what we do here at Analytics and the phrases I make, the way I come across. I say things like, who is Analytics? What is Analytics? Which is Analytics? Whom is Analytics? Okay, so about Analytics. We are a leading edtech company, and we are focused on providing specialized training in technology skills and delivering comprehensive data consulting services. We help as many persons and many persons of the Black community in general to transition into tech, taking you from what you are doing at the moment to what you want to do. And we have facilitators across the Fortune 500 companies, and of course, the programs we offer at the moment, from data analytics to business analysis, data engineering to data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, cybersecurity, and coming soon, AI engineering. So you want to ensure that you stay tuned. Okay. So that's about analytics and about me. Because like I always say, you might be wondering, who is this guy that's speaking? Who is this guy that began with a story? I'm Aisha Agbonlaho, as you can see from the name tag, and I'm the lead in charge of training operations here at Analytics, with experience, over 5 years experience, spanning from data analytics to business analysis to power platform development and also predictive AI engineering. Okay, I've worked with organizations across different across different countries, and I've been able to train over 1,500 professionals across 4 continents. Okay, but that's about me. We're not here for me. Okay, we're here for something else. But before we go into that, we have a fantastic person, okay, that's going to take us through what JIRA is all about and how you and I can use JIRA in going about our tasks as a business analyst or as an agile project manager. And I'm talking about Idemudia Oboense. So Idemudia is a senior agile associate and also a product manager. He has a lots and lots and lots of experience when it comes to working in the field of agile, and of course have great experience in terms of JIRA, which of course is going to be taking us through today. It's a fantastic person, and you're going to see him soon. But you know what? Just stay tuned. Okay, we are going to split the session into 4 different sections. I really need to slow down whenever I say that. Okay, we are going to split this session into 4 different sections. And the first thing we are going to see how we can write user stories on JIRA, which is what we are here for. The second thing is that we are going to take a look at the pathway for you to either be a business analyst or an agile project manager. We take a look at the upcoming cohort, which is going to begin in November, and of course, our special discount offer for you. And don't forget, we complete the story which I began. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to call on Idemudia. Idemudia, are you there? You can just go ahead to turn on your video so I spotlight you, and of course, you dish out a little bit of your wisdom to each and every one of us. Are you there, Idemudia? So you can turn on your video. That's a very good one. That's a very good one, Pio. Well, we come back to that. Are you there, Idemudia?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, although we can't see you.
Okay, yeah, I'm turning on my video now.
Oh,
Can everyone
fantastic.
see me?
Hello. Yeah, we can hear you. Although your voice seems a bit muffled. Okay.
Okay, can everyone hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's quite low. It's very low. Now we can't hear you.
No. Can everyone hear me now?
Okay. Can you repeat that? I think that was better.
Can everyone hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I think this is good enough. How are you doing, Idemudia?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine, Isaac. So if I'm looking this way, I'm seeing my other screen.
Okay,
So,
great. So I'm going to stop sharing so you can share your screen. I believe that'll be great.
that's fine. All right.
So
Hi everyone.
and also if you can try increasing your
Volume.
voice, okay? So it's quite low. I know you're very chilled, so you're a chilled person.
All right. Hi everyone. You can hear me now. Can we hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Let me know if you can hear me. All right. Great. 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 So in cases where you can't hear me, just let me know. You can just send a message. I would see it there, then I will put in my audio. All right. Okay. Great. Okay. More volume. All right. So I'll be sharing my screen now, and we are here to deal with agile. Okay, we are here to deal with agile. We are here to look at JIRA, and we're also going to look at dive into some practical aspects of JIRA. Okay. Uh, Please let me know if you can still hear me, and I'll share my screen immediately. Okay. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, great, great. So let me turn that into. Okay. All right, great. So basically, what we'll be doing today, we'll be talking about JIRA and how it relates to Agile, right? And there's no way you can be using JIRA without you understanding what Agile is, right? And I'm sure for most of us here, we understand what Agile is already, right? And then, but if we are trying to get into the workspace of JIRA, trying to get into Agile management, project management, business analyst, then it's definitely one of the tools that we are going to use, or one of the tools you will be using while in your day-to-day operations. It's going to be JIRA, right? Because most companies, most industries, they accept JIRA as their collaboration tool, right? And for a project manager and for a business analyst, JIRA is one of the major tools that you are going to be using for your collaboration with development teams, with other team members on your organization. Okay. Now we have other tools. We don't just have Jira. We have we have Asana. We have Trello, right? And even for back-to-back communications, we like Slack. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with these terms. Some of you are familiar with these terms. But then again, we are here for Jira. We are going to dive into how to use Jira and how to create user stories, right? So when you see user and you hear stories, basically we are going to be doing some little storytelling, trying to understand the perspective and the idea of what the customer may do, right? What the customer may do, or what the customer tends to achieve for a particular task and for a particular deliverable. All right. So we'll be moving and we'll be diving in. Just follow me, guys.
Hello, Idemudia. Sorry for
Yeah, can you
interrupting.
hear me?
There
Yeah.
seems to be some feedback, like maybe wind or something. Yeah, we can hear you, but there seems to be some
Okay.
feedback that comes time to time, like maybe wind or something. And
Okay.
so just it comes from time to time. So I don't know if you can sort that out quickly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, that's better.
Is this clear now?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, great, great. Basically, there is no way we won't talk about using Jira without um, looking at where it's coming from. All right, looking at where it's coming from and what it does. Then we are going to look at. Can everyone hear me? Hello, can everyone hear me? Hello, can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Hello, can everyone hear me? I've lost audio there. Okay, great, 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 great. All right, I'm seeing, I'll just put in the chat here so I can see everyone clearly. All right, great. So now let's look at Scrum framework. So basically, the foundation of using JIRA, right? Uh, Actually, we start off from using using the Scrum framework because JIRA is associated with Agile, okay? Right? But then people use JIRA for different purposes. Now you can use JIRA for your own personal day-to-day deliverable. You can use JIRA for your own tracking your own tasks and tracking your own plans. Then if you want to understand JIRA project manager or if you want to understand JIRA business analyst, you have to understand it from project manager angle, and then you have to look at the Scrum framework, right? So the Scrum framework is a framework which people can address complex adaptive problems to while productively and critically delivering products of the highest possible value, right? Okay, I'm getting feedback that the sound is not clear enough. I'm wondering why that is. I would like to know if I'm audible now. Okay, great. Okay, great, great. So the word Scrum comes from sport Ruby, where players huddle together in interlock positions against the opponents. All right. Now, each player has a defined role in their position and can play both offensive and defensive per the demand of the situation. So when you're talking about Scrum, okay, I hope everyone can hear me. Is this louder? Okay, great. When you're
Yes,
talking
yes,
about
this is
Scrum,
better. This is
okay,
this is better.
right. I guess I'll just close that to my mouth there. When we're talking about Scrum, we have the 3-5-3 framework. So we are looking at we have the artifact, right? We have the roles, we have the artifact, then we have the hold on, let me delete this. Okay, great. We have the event, we have the artifact, and we have the roles, right? So the roles cut across the product owner, the scrum master, and the teams, right? While the event, we are looking at the sprint backlogs, we are looking at the sprint review, the sprint planning, the daily scrum, the retrospectives, and the sprints, right? Then for the artifacts, we are looking at product backlog, sprint backlog, and what product increment. Now we are heading somewhere because using JIRA, you have to come from somewhere because there are some terminologies in JIRA that you would have to relate to when you're talking about Scrum, right? And part of that is your product backlog, right? Now, if you look at the diagram here, right? So if you look at the diagram here, potential software changes, you see the product backlog, you see the sprint backlog, you see the product increment, you see the shippable product. What to do? Now, initially, when you're starting off the project, you want to look at your fix, you want to look at your feature, you want to look at the issues that are going to derive from those features, you want to look at the technical work when you are dealing with your development team, your dev team, right? Now, when you're able to gather requirements, now at this point, it's called requirements. You're gathering requirements. Now, when you gather requirements from your features, your fixes, and your technical works from your dev team, you want to create what we call your product backlog. All right. Now, you want to create what we call your product backlog. Now, it is that product backlog that you are going to move to your JIRA. Are you following? You're going to move to your JIRA board, and then you will create what we call acceptance criteria, right? So for every product, for every issue, for every task listed on your product backlog, will have an acceptance criteria that is going to follow through. Then for every acceptance criteria and every task on that product backlog is called what? User story. So the way to identify a task on a product backlog in JIRA is called user story. So you use user stories to do that. And there are ways in which you can carry out your user stories. Okay, there are methods. There are method that you use to carry out your user story. So basically, you're not just going to be telling a story and saying, I want to see how to move from point A to point B. No, that's not how it works in JIRA, or that's not how it works in project management, right? There is a framework which you're going to use, and that's what we are going to see in a short time now. Okay, that we're going to see that. So if we look into what product backlog is all about, all right, introduction to JIRA, right? The backlog lists all the work on the project, like I said minutes ago. Now, the product owner is responsible for the product backlog, including the content availability and the priority ordering. Now, in most cases, as project managers and as agile project managers, you are also going to be in charge of what the product backlog. In fact, it may be on you to actually work on the product backlog. So it is very, very important that you have good knowledge on how to go about developing your product backlog, grooming your product backlog, and doing so much with your product backlog, okay? Now, like I said before, regardless the fact that product owners are the ones responsible for the product backlog, it is very important that agile project managers understand how it works and how to go about it. So a product backlog is never completed, all right? And it evolves. It evolves around the product. So basically, as time goes on, as you're developing your product, probably the time schedule estimated for your project is about six months. Yeah, let's say 6 months, and you are delivering your product incrementally, right? You are doing it piece by piece, piece by piece, piece by piece. You can there will be points where you have to add some items to your backlog. You want to add some tasks to your backlog. Now, that is why product management, agile management, project management, and agile, it's very flexible. Now, in waterfall, like you've known before, can be very rigid, but when you are dealing with agile, right, there are rooms to adjustment, there are rooms for flexibility, and that is why the collaboration tool as JIRA is very important for such methodology, for such framework. Okay. Now, if you look at the diagram by the right, the product backlog items, as a team, we estimate the t-shirt size of the item as what? As small. Okay, as small, right? So that can stand as a product backlog. Now, here are the steps we will take to implement this item, right? The team determines the complexity of the product backlog. So when you are working with a team, because you are most definitely going to be working with a team. Now, an agile project manager can never work on isolation. Now, you should take this. You can't work on isolation because whatever you do, you need feedbacks from your development team. And your development team is made up of, as you know, your product designer, your front end, your back end, your QA testers. These are what makes up your development team. Okay. Then also you want to determine how the backlog item will be achieved. So basically, when you are putting an issue, don't worry, when we get to JIRA, you understand what I mean. When you're putting an issue on your backlog, right? When you're putting an issue on your backlog, it is very important that you determine how to achieve it, right? How you want to achieve it, how you want to go about it by including your description, by including your acceptance criteria, by including the tags that will be added to it, and every other thing that I'm going to say that you're going to see will be seen in JIRA, in the JIRA board shortly. All right. So if we move to the next slide, now you see a picture of how the JIRA board looks like. Right, this is just a pictorial view of how the JIRA board looks like. And if you look at very well, you see backlogs, right? You see backlogs, you'll be seeing roadmaps, you see boards, you see reports, you see issues, right? You see deployment pages, add items, and project settings. So this is how the typical JIRA board looks like. But mind you, JIRA as a company, they always optimize their work, they always optimize their products. So day to day, month to month, year to year, the interface are changing, right? So it means that as an agile project manager, you have to be up to date with the trends of the JIRA, right? Because JIRA is a whole lot. You can do so much with JIRA, right? So you have to be updated with the trends because every now and then, a lot of things have been added, a lot of things have been subtracted, a lot of things have been optimized and modified, all right? So let's look at the Scrum framework. Let's dive deep into the Scrum framework while we are actually here. Remember, we are here to understand how to create and write a user story using JIRA. But before we dive into JIRA, like I said before, we have to understand what user stories are, right? How to write them and what they do and the importance of why they are needed, right? But then you cannot create a user story without understanding some other key features to what is associated with user stories. And that is what the epics and the features. Now, I'm going to break it down in a parental level, because what you see in JIRA, you see parents, you see a term called parent in JIRA. So I'm going to use that in this case. Now for epics, epics represent multiple features of many stories. Please follow me. Epic is like the father, okay? Epic is like the father. Now, epic represents multiple features of many stories. So when you have different stories, remember, a story is a task. A story is a deliverable, right? A story is an issue. A story is a task. I'll take that again. A story is a task. A story is a deliverable. A story is what? A story is a deliverable, right? So when you compile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories together, you create an epic for that. So an epic is like a larger task that sums up all the small incremental stories that you would have. Okay, and that is what an epic is. If you look at what is on the slide, you will see can take months to build and work at its release level. What the end user tends to focus on, that is what the epic is. Now, a feature is smaller than the epic, but bigger than stories. Okay, can take weeks, possibly one or more iterations to build. Now, when we talk about iterations, so you don't get confused with the too many English. When you talk about iterations, we are talking about in cycles, repeating things one step at a time, taking it one bit at a time. Level 1, you're going again. Level 2, you're going again. Level 3, you're going again to level 4. So you're not going on the stretch, right? You're taking it one bit at a time. So that's what iterations means, okay? Now, what customers product owners tend to focus on? So basically, customers also focus on the feature. Then product owners want to focus on the feature more, right? Then if you look at what the user story, which is our main focus today, are the smallest increment of value. User stories are the smallest increment of value. Okay, user stories are the smallest increment of value. Can everyone hear me? I would like to know if you can hear me. Let me get that feedback. If you can hear me. You can't hear me anymore. Okay, great. Okay. Can everyone hear me now? Okay, great. Now, like I said, user story, which is the main reason why we are here today, are the smallest increments of value, right? It takes days, perhaps weeks or 2 at most to build. Okay, it takes days, perhaps weeks at most to build. Minutes. Okay, great. Now, if you look at what we have, here on the diagram at the right side, right? How to write an agile user story. Now let's start with point 1. Define the end user and who will be using your product, right? Who will be using your product. So for a user story, there is how it should go, like I said. So the first thing is you want to know who will be using your product, right? Now, as a parent, you want to start with that, the end user. As a parent, you can say as Idemudia, right? That's the end user. Then the next thing you want to identify is what they want. As a parent, I want to check my sleeping baby without entering the room. So basically, you want to specify what they want, what solution are you offering, right? Remember, the first step is the end user. You want to define who your end user is. So you can say, if you are building a fintech product, you can say as a user, you can say as a customer, you can say as someone who wants to check this account balance, right? So you want to define the end user, who that person is. Then you go to specify what they want. Okay, what solution are you offering? I want to check my sleeping baby without entering his room, right? Then you look at number 3, describe the benefits. User stories, like I said, it's not just something you just write, right? There are techniques to it, and these are the techniques that I'm outlining to you at the moment. Now, number 3 is describe benefits. What will your user gain from using your product? So basically, you want to say this. As a parent, let's go back. As a parent, I want to check my sleeping baby without entering his room. So that, remember, so that the benefit now, so that I know he is safe without disturbing him, right? So that I know he is safe without disturbing him. Then step 4, want to add the acceptance criteria. What determines the story as done? When you say a story is done, what do you mean by story is done? It means, what do you mean by a tax? When you say a tax is done, what are the acceptance criteria to a tax being done, right? So, e.g., alert to be sent to the registered smartphone if problem is what detected. That is the acceptance criteria that this user story is done. Basically, as a parent, I want to check my sleeping baby without entering his room so that I know that he's safe without what disturbing him, right? And this should be shown as done if the alert is sent to the registered smartphone if problem is detected. So, what are the top tips in creating a good user story? Develop a personal profile to visualize your end user. Okay, you will hear things like user personnel, right? User personnel. So when you are in your dev team, your developer, right? Your product developer, product designer will create a user personnel that you would understand. You get to understand the kind of user needed for each feature, each product, and whatnot, right? Now, always write from your end user perspective. So basically, you're not writing from your end as the agile project manager, no, because agile focuses on customer. It's customer centric, 100% customer centric. It's user centric. Okay, so you want to think about the user. You're always thinking about the user when you are developing a user story. You want to avoid adding technical details too early. So basically, you want to make it as simple and easy as possible. Okay, you want to make it as simple and easy as possible, right? Try not to add too many acceptance criteria because you want to be direct and you want your development team, your dev team to be able to understand what it means to get this task done. Remember, your user story you are writing is not for yourself, it's for the development team to be able to do what? Carry out the task for that particular feature, right? Or for that particular task. We'll get into JIRA and we'll see how it works. Now, try not to add too many acceptance criteria. Keep stories brief, breaking them up if you need to. Make sure they meet your what definition of done, right? Are we following, guys? I would like to know if everybody's hearing me and we are following. I would like to know if, can we hear me? Are we following? Great, 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 great. All right, great. So let's keep going. All right. Let's keep going. Now, Scrum framework, like I said, we've looked at Epic, we looked at user story. Now let's see another example here. Like I said, an Epic is a larger story, right? Epic are for stakeholders, users and customers. User stories are for the team. Incremental development, right? User stories are for the team. Incremental deliverables. You're dealing with, you're taking up your tasks bit by bit, like an apple, right? I think there was an analogy I used for someone, an apple. So that is what it's like. JIRA is like an apple. You're taking it, you're eating it bit by bit, right? So that is what it is when you are trying to deliver on a particular project using JIRA, using agile methodology, okay? Now, like I said, now look at an example here for the user story. As a college student, right? I would like to see, as a college student identifies what? The end user. Remember, guys, this is a class, right? So remember how we planned on doing it, right? As a college student, I defines what? The end user, right? Now let's go back again. I would like to see the total price of my cat. Okay. I would like to see the total price of my cat as I add items. Let's go back and see what that is. Let's go back and see what that is. Now that is what they want. Specify what they want, right? I would like to see my cart so that I can add items. Let's go back and we see, so I can fit my budget. You see it now. As a college student, I would like to see the total price of my cart as I add items so I can fit my budget, right? So let's see what that stands for. You see that stands for what? The benefits. Are we following? So basically, to write a user story encompasses the end user, what they want, and the benefit. So if your user story does not cut across this framework, then that is not a proper user story. Okay? I hope we are following. That is not a proper user story. So it must follow this framework. You have to define your end user, specify what they want, right? And also describe the benefits. Okay? Now, we are going to jump into a case study. So I really want all of us to read and understand this case study. Okay, we'll take over. Let's look at the case study together. Now, the case study is an e-commerce website product search launch. So basically, we want to create, or we want to build a product search feature. A product search feature is just like when you go on your Jumia. For those of you that uses Jumia, just like when you go on your Jumia, you go on your let's look for something else. You go on your eBay. For those of you that have used eBay, right? Let's look for something else. You go on your Konga. For those of you that buy things online and have used e-commerce platforms before, now you know when you want to search for your product, right? Search product. There is a search bar. You click on it, right? And you see that if you search for maybe perfume, right? You have a list of different perfumes and different categories, right? From your search.
Your voice is low again.
Can you hear me now? Can everyone hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, great. So now let's look at the scenario together. Okay. Now, a company is building an e-commerce website where customers can search for products. Now, please take note of the scenario. As prospective agile project managers, you have to pay attention to details. You have to look at everything, skin your eye through everything, and make sure that you grab everything that you can grab. Okay. A company is building an e-commerce website where customers can search for products. The product owner has identified the need for the product search feature. Now, that is what we are dealing with, the product search feature, okay, which will include several sub features like searching by name, filtering by category, and filtering by price. For those of us that have used a product search feature before, you would understand that searching by name is there, searching by price is there, and searching by category is there. For those of us that have used Gigi is a very popular e-commerce platform where you can buy anything, virtually anything there, cars, phones, gadgets, and the likes, right? You see something like that where you see price ranges, categories, the name, right? So that's what we want to do now. Now, the business analyst, the BA, is responsible for creating the epic. Remember when we talked about epic, and we said the epic is the larger sum, right? Is the larger sum of tasks of the project, of the deliverable, right? It's created for creating an epic in JIRA for the product search feature and breaking it down into related user stories, then adding them to the what? To the product backlog. So what are the steps? We are going to go through the various steps on how to do that. All right. Now, the step to create an epic and user stories during the backlog setup. Now, the first step is what? We want to gather high-level requirements. This is what you do on the background, right? This is what your BA, your product owner, all of you will do this on the background. You gather the requirements, right? So the BA collects high-level requirements for the product feature. Users should be able to search for products by name. Are you listening? Users should be able to search for products by name. Users should be able to do what? Filter the products by category. And users should be able to do what? Filter the products by what? By price, by pricing. All right. Now, with this requirement, look, remember the scenario: a company is building an e-commerce website where the customer can search for products. Product owner has identified the need for product search feature, which will include several subfeatures like search by name, featuring by category, and what featuring by price. Right? I'm going over this again so that when we get to JIRA, we would have a better understanding. All right. Now let's go to JIRA. Okay. A minute. Of that, give me a minute. Go to JIRA. Let me end my slide now. Okay. All right, so everyone can see my screen. Please, I would like to know if everyone can see my screen. Can you still see my screen? Oh, let me check the chat. Hold on. Okay, yes, can. Great. All right. Okay. So my JIRA board is opening. Now, can you all see board? Can you all see the interface? Tell me what you are seeing right now. Can you just write out what you're seeing? Can you tell me what you're seeing? What you're seeing on the screen? Are you seeing Google Drive or you are seeing JIRA? Okay, you're seeing JIRA. Great. Everybody can see JIRA. That's great. Now, this is how your JIRA looks like, right? This is how it looks like. This is what you're seeing now. This is what you're going to be using. This is how you're going to be using it. And I'm going to walk you through some steps on how we are going to go through, how we did what we did, how we got to where we are on this board. But the first thing I will do is how to create your project, right? So basically, I have already created the e-commerce website project here. Can everybody see my cursor move? I would like to know that you can see my cursor move, right? Let me check the chat. Can everybody see my cursor move? Great. Okay, great. All right, so now I've already created the project, the e-commerce website, all right? But then I want to take us on a journey how to create your own project if you need to do that, because definitely that's what you're going to do. So you come here, right? You click create project. Now when you click create project, you're going to see IT system management, product discovery. So you come down to this place, right? Here you see project templates. Now you click software development. And when you click software development, you're going to see Kanban, you're going to see Scrum, right? You're going to see top level planning, right? But for using JIRA as an agile project manager, you want to use Scrum, especially if you are actually working on, you want to deal on sprints. Listen to me, guys. If you want to deal on sprints, if you want to use the Scrum framework, you click on Scrum. Now, Kanban is another kind of methodology and another kind of workflow. All right. But then we are going to use Scrum for this case study, for this practical class. Now, when you click on Scrum, okay, you would see use this template. So definitely you're going to click use the template. All right. Now, when you click use the templates, now you have either team managed or company managed. Now, for this class, we are going to use team managed because company managed is you have to pay for it. It's an advanced setting. Okay. So we use company managed and we click on that. Now we're going to put the name of the project. You can type demo 2. All right, demo 2. Okay. And when we are done with that, hold on, let me put this up so I can see. When we are done with that, click next. Okay. Loading, create your project. Then you click. What is just here is that Confluence is also attached to your JIRA, so you can have that asset Confluence, right?
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay, great. So now you click on the continue. And when you click on continue, it takes you to your board. All right? It takes you to your board. Basically, this is how it looks like. Now, the first thing you want to see, it tells you want to add, who do you want to add? Your team members. In a live project, you would have team members, okay? Your dev team, your CEO, your people that you want to watch, they want to see how your workflow is going, how the project is going on, and what is happening in the project, right? You want to add those people on your board, right? And then when you are able to add them, you click add here. But now in this case, you're not going to add anybody. You add them by their mails, company mail, or whatever how you want to add them from. You can see you have your Google, Slack, or Microsoft, okay? And you give them assign their roles, the kind of roles that is assigned to them, how you want them to navigate, and what they can have access to on your board, okay? But that will not be the case in this scenario. So we are going to cancel this, all right? So basically, this is what you are going to see at the first glance. Right? You're going to see, you see your demo 2. Under planning, you see your timeline, you see your backlog, you see your board, you see your calendar, you have your list, and you have a whole lot of things. Now, JIRA is a whole lot. So it will take a bit of time, but after much practice, you'll be able to understand what each and everything on the board stands for. Everything here is clickable. Everything on the JIRA board is clickable, right? Here, down to here, down to here, down to here. Everything on the JIRA board is clickable. So you have to understand what it is. And by keep trying, keep working on it, keep going back and forth, you have more understanding of what it looks like. So this is how backlog is, okay? Now I'm going to go back to our project. So if you click here, back, so I want to know that everyone can see my screen. Let me get that feedback again. Can we all see the screen? I want to hear like a 1 or 2 yes, then we can get back to work. Okay, yes, great. Great. So now let's go back to our project. Now look carefully. You see the e-commerce site product search functionality. Now, JIRA always does this. They give you acronyms. If you notice here, you see demo P1, it gave me the acronym DP, right? If you see the project we just created now, demo 2, gave me the acronym D2, right? Are you seeing it now? So in this case, the name of the project here is EWPSF, okay? Stand for e-commerce website product search functionality. All right, so let's click on the project and let's get back to work. All right. Now, when you click on your project and you're in your project, okay, you want to go to your backlog first. Okay, you want to go to your backlog first. That's the first thing you want to do. You go to your backlog. Now, in your backlog, this is what we call Epic. You click on Epic. Now, Epic here, like I said, is the father of all your user stories. Remember what I said. It is the father of all your user stories. Now, you select your Epic. Issues without Epic, create an Epic. When you create an Epic, you click on it. So right, I've already created an Epic here, and the Epic here is showing the product search feature. I allowed it to show here on the board. So as you can see now, this is an Epic. These are my stories. Don't worry, I will explain better. Now, if you see, if I click create issue, now let's assume I've not created anything before and I'm creating issue. You would see there's going to be 3. You see your tags, you see board, and you see story. You're seeing story there. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to categorize, you want to header, give your story a head name, right? You want to give your story a head name. Like, for example, remember the requirements is 1, we want to see that you can search product by name. You want to see that you can search product by category. You want to see that you can also filter products by price range, right? Now, so we create our first story with the header name, which is by product name. When you click on this, all right, you see something is opening by the right. All right, it's loading now. Now, great. Now, look at it clearly. I want to know if everybody can see my screen. Can you see the screen? Can you see search by product name? Okay, let me check the start. Okay, great. Can you see search by product name? Can everybody see that? Okay, great. Now we are going to see how we wrote our user story. All right. Now the header here is search by product name. And if you notice, look at, follow my cursor now. If you notice, inside the epic, which is the purple color, right? As you can see here, which is the purple color here, you are seeing the story. So the story is inside the epic. Okay, the story is inside the epic. All right. Now let's look at the user story. As a customer, I want to remember, as a customer, that is what. Can somebody tell me what the as a customer stands for? Because I know I explained that. Somebody drop the answer. As a customer is the what? The end user. Thank you, Olufemi. Right, great. The end user. Now, as a customer is the end user. I want to search for products by name so that I can quickly find the product I am looking for. So I want to search the product by name, right? Is what? I want to search the product by name is what? Can somebody tell me the answer? Search the product by name is what? That is what? The explanation, the brief explanation, the description. Great. Great. The product description. Now, so that I can quickly find the product I am looking for. And that should be what, guys? That should be what? benefit, result. Wow, I have lovely people on this call today. Great. So now remember, we said for every user story, you want to create an acceptance criteria, right? You want to create an acceptance criteria to make sure that the identifier is done. Remember, acceptance criteria helps us to know when this is done. So given I am on this page, when I type the name of the product, then a list of products should be what displayed.
Oh, we can't hear you anymore. Okay, so your audio seems to, like a back and forth. Okay.
Clearly. All right, can everybody hear me now? Great. Right.
Good.
So now that is the user story for search by product name. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. Filter by category. Okay. Filter by category. All right. Now, JIRA is very interesting. It's actually very interesting. Okay. If you understand it. Let's look at this. As a customer, I'm sure everybody knows what as a customer is, the end user. Great. I want to filter search results by product category. So I want to filter search result by product category. This is what the description, right? So that I can narrow down my search to a specific type of what products. That is what the benefit. Okay. And if you see the acceptance criteria given, I want to quickly run this so that I can show you other things in JIRA. JIRA is an amazing place. Okay, now let's look at the filter by price range. Okay, let's look at the filter by price range. Sorry, my network is a bit slow. I'm sure it should be up in a minute. So let's look at by price range. JIRA, come on. Great. Customer, I want to filter search result by price range so that I can find products within my budget. Okay, that's your user story, and then you have your acceptance criteria. All right. Now, there's something that you would notice when I take this now in a situation whereby I want to now start working on your project, right? With your team, right? And you want to identify what should be done first and what should be worked on first and all that. You would move your story. You see what's happening? Are you seeing what's happening? But before I do that, let's go to your board. Let's go to the board and see something. Your board is your workflow. To do, in progress, and on. So it tells you how progressive your work is going, right? If your task is in to do, if your task is moved from to do to in progress, if your task is moved from in progress to done. So when it's in done, it means that particular task, JIRA calls it issue. As you can see here, that particular issue is done, right? Now you see that it's empty, right? I brought us here so that we see that it's empty and nothing is on our to-do list yet. But see what happens now in our backlog. Once I do this, okay, just give me a minute, it's loading. Now, once I take this from here and I put it here, you see what it shows? It move issues. Sprint scope will be affected by this action. ECWPSF 5 will be moved from sprint backlog to sprint. Are you following? Now we are going to confirm that. And when we confirm that, let's go back to our board and see what happens there. Now, what have we noticed? You've noticed that particular task has been moved to your to-do list. Okay, a lot to be taught about sprints. The Scrum framework. Dive into it much later during the boot camp. So we can't go into all that details. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions to ask, but we can't really dive into all the many questions that you might have to ask right now. Okay, so let's just flow. Let's just go with the flow. Now, when you click your story, all right, you see what is happening. Let's click that again. And when you click your story, great. I opened up my storyboard. Okay, story I created, guys. I opened it now. Now you notice something at the bottom. You will see you see like child issues. You see what's called child issues. Child issues in JIRA can also term as what? Subtasks. So for your story, remember, your story is just showing you the minute, the incremental tax, the small tax for your epic. Remember, the small tax for your epic, but your sub tax is now giving you actionable tax to do that will achieve your user story and in long run achieve your what? Your epic, right? So for every user story, there is always a subtax to it. Now, if you want to write your subtax, this is how you do it. You click your add, right? And you see add add a child issue. And when you click that, you see your subtax, what needs to be done. Okay. And we can just say create. Okay, let's come here. Uh, create a demo. Now, and we put create. So that adds to your what? To your subtax. Okay. Now, if you click here and you click, if you look, I'm clicking for that particular subtax, and I put done, you will see what happens here. There is a bar that moves, a progress bar, it moves here. Now, if I click this and I put done again, it begins to complete. The progress bar begins to go and it begins to show that it is being completed. Okay. And I put done. So it means understand what I'm saying. Are you understanding what I'm saying, guys?
Oh, wow. So it seems you might have lost Idemudia. Okay. So I'm sure he's gonna come back soon. Okay, he's gonna come back soon. I can see that we are actually enjoying the session. Because I'm taking a look at the chat box. I've been taking a look at the chat box for a while now, and the comments, and everyone is bubbly. And I'm sure you know what bubbly means. Okay, everyone is excited. Okay, great. So we have Idemudia back with us now. Idemudia, please, you can go ahead.
Let me know if can everyone hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. All right, great, great. That's great. That's great. Basically, like I was saying, so I'll continue where I stopped. And then for your user story completed, right?
Your voice
And
is low.
after that,
Your voice is low. So
okay, my voice is out again. Okay, great. Can everyone see my screen?
so we can't hear you.
Can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see my
Uh,
screen?
oh yes, yes. We can hear you now. But your screen is not yet up.
Yes. Okay, okay, just give me a moment. Okay, give me a moment to share my screen now. I'll do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okay, great. Okay, great.
Yeah, we
I'm
can see your
sure
screen.
everyone can hear me. All right, great,
Yes, I
great.
can hear you as well.
So basically, that's how, right, right. That's how it works. So if we add more tax, more issues, right? We call it issues. So if we add more issues to our sprint, you see that the to do becomes increased, right? It becomes adds more tax to it. So let's take that and see what happens. Let's take that again and add. I'm having issues now. Okay. Uh, Yeah, so confirm that. Now, if you go back to the board, you see. Okay, great. So here now, and this is where you want to track your workflow progress. So when you're dealing with your development team, you want to also track your workflow progress. Basically, from here, once they are done, you move card. See where I'm moving the card. You move it to in progress, and it moves from in progress. If they are done, you move it to what? To done, right? And it indicates that that particular task is done. Okay. And if you notice, you'll see that the ECWPSF is flashed, like it's been cancelled, telling you that the particular project or the particular task has been delivered, right? Has been delivered. So this is how, this is more like an intro of how JIRA works. Now, there are a lot of things on how JIRA works. There's how to assign, where you have to assign tasks, assign to people, assign to the various dev. You have to attach documentations, can attach documentations, you can even see your timeline. Okay. Now you can see your timeline. Let's show you the timeline. So you want to see how long it will take you for a particular project to be done. As you can see here, see that this, so once my cursor touched on it, you will see that the date 2024, 10th, 14th, to a particular date, 14 days. So my sprint is stated for 14 days. So it means that in 14 days, I'm supposed to be done with this particular sprint, right? And if I press this plus button, you will see that all the stories underneath the epics are displayed. Okay. So like I said, JIRA is a lot, and we cannot do all that in under 1 hour. All right. So I hope this has intrigued you enough to know that this is a lot. And when you're coming in as an agile project manager, it's serious business. There is no play around, because you are handling the life and you are the life wire of every project. Okay. If a project is going to be successful, it's very dependent on you. If a project is not going to be successful, it's also going to be dependent on you and how you manage your team. All right. So at this point, I would say it's great having this a 1 hour section with you. And probably, I don't know if there'll be rooms for any little questions, but then Aisha, you're going to anchor that and determine that.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
yeah,
Thank you very much, Idobudia.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. So Idobudia is taking us through JIRA, or he is taking us through JIRA. Okay. So thank you very much, Idobudia. And like I've seen and like we've all seen, it's a whole lot. There's so much to learn, so little time. I know that many of us might not have been able to follow along, like to practice while the media was taking us through all of those things. Don't worry, the recording is there for you. All you have to do to ensure that you get the materials and everything that was done in the session, so you can go back and practice. There's something you need to do. And what is that? You need to fill the attendance form. Very, very important. Okay. I know some of us have questions, but I'm trying to take that at the end of the session. Okay. But thank you very much, Idebudia. Thank you so much. So you can stop sharing now.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
That was
I'll
great.
stop sharing my screen now.
All right then. So that was a great one. Okay, that was a really great one. And we got to see how you can work with JIRA as an agile project manager and even as a business analyst, because as a business analyst, you're also part of that Scrum team. You're also part of the agile team that's going to go ahead to make things happen for the organization. But I'm sure we all remembered that I was talking about a story when we began. I'm sure we remembered. Um, there was a story that I talked about. Do you remember? If you remember the story, just send a story to the chat box. Okay. I was about to say something like, if you remembered, type I remembered the story, but that seems too long. Okay. So we can go with story. If you remember the story I started. Okay, I started at the start of the session. I want you to type in story that you want us to continue with that story. Okay, go ahead and type in story to the chat box. So I continue. Or if you don't want us to continue, guess we can call it a day or something. Okay. So Gallus says some of us joined the late. Oh. Anyways, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to give a recap. Okay, I'm going to give a recap. But I started the story, and what did I say? What was the story about? The story was about two men, man A and man B. Man A and man B. And I think that was where we stopped, really. I don't think we said any other thing aside that. That we when we started the story, I talked about man A and man B and their situation, their conditions. Like man, they are both looking to make a switch from what it is that they are doing at the moment into something great. They are both in a situation that many of us find ourselves at the moment, and that is doing something that we really don't want to keep on doing, for the long run. More like just trying to survive for the meantime. Man A and Man B, they were actually in that same situation as well. And they wanted to make the Benjamins. They wanted to have freedom. They wanted to, and this was the exact phrase I used. They wanted to be able to get their needs, and not just their needs, but also their wants. They wanted to do amazing things. That was where I stopped, I believe. Okay, that's where I stopped in the story. So moving on, I'm going to continue the story. Now, man A and man B, they both had something they want to achieve, but they took different paths in trying to achieve that. Man A took the left and man B took the right. I repeat, man A took the left and man B took the right. What was in the left path? And please, the fact that it was the left does not mean it was the wrong path, because we already have that notion. If it's left, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. Okay? No. So what was in the path that man A took? Man A decided that, oh, this is what I want to achieve. This is what the goal I've set for myself. This is what I want to do. Exactly, PO, okay? They are both trying to get to the same destination, but they are taking different paths. Okay, they are trying to get to the same destination, but different paths. So man A decided. Man A said, you know what? Where I'm going to, I'm not going to ask for directions. I'm going to just keep on moving till I get there. I'm going to depend on my own. I'm going to use my current experience and my current knowledge to get to where I'm trying to go. After all, it's just that destination. What can be the difference between where I am right now, where I'm looking to go? I know that I just need to walk north, and that I will eventually get there. So all I need to do is what? Walk north, and I will eventually get there. So man A began his journey and started walking. That's man A. Now, what about man B? Man B was a little cautious. I know I'm looking to get to this destination, and I know that this destination is not what. But how do I know where is north? How do I know north? It's just like, let's say you're in the North Pole and you tell someone that I want to go to the north. You're already in the North Pole. So where's north? This is where north is. So, okay. But anyways, that's some scientific debacle. Okay. But that is the situation that man B found himself. It was like, I want to get to this point. I'm looking to get to this destination. But how do I get there? I need someone that is going to, help me out, to tell me what to do. And so man B went to hire a town crier. Do we know who a town crier is? I'm sure we know town criers. Those guys that go, gong, gong, gong. I don't know if I made the gong, gong, gong. Okay, the town crier. It went to the town criers in hamlets and village. If you know a town crier, I want to ensure we are all understanding the story. So if you know who a town crier is, just send I know or send no to the chat box. And I want to hear from each and every one of us. Okay. Adekule, do you know who a town crier is? Adiola, do you know who a town crier is? Okay, Claire, do you know who a town crier is? Gerald, do you know who a town crier is? I want to know. So if we don't know who a town crier is, I could maybe, just skip that. Do we know town criers? Stephen, do you know town criers? I need more responses. I've gotten like 2 responses so far, but I need more. Or we're not enjoying the story. I can stop. So if I can just stop right now and then um, but I need more responses. All right, thank you very much, Gerard. Thank you, Galaxy. So Galaxy knows as well. Femi knows. Patricia knows. Women of Zion. What about you? Do you know who is the town crier? Rahimat. Rahima. Do you know what enquiry is? Solomon, do you know? Okay, all right. So Omar says, please don't stop. Okay, I'm going to continue. Okay, I'm going to continue. James, do you know what enquiry is? I need more responses though. It's just the rest. I've gotten like 6 responses so far. We are over 70 on the call. Thank you very much, PO. Village announcers. Yeah. And so man B decided that, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hire a town crier. And the town criers that go to the villages and the hamlets and, hit the gong 3 times and say gong, gong, gong. The king has said that, everyone has to gather in the market square for 2 weeks to celebrate the festival. Okay. So he went to a town crier and he told the town crier, I want you to go ahead and spread information and spread the word that I need help. And of course, it paid the town crier. The town crier was like, you know what? Of course, I'm going to need a fee, and they settled all of that. And so the town crier went ahead and started announcing. The first day, the town crier went, gong, gong, gong. Someone needs help. There was no response. The second day, the town crier also went, gong, gong, gong. Someone needs help. And there was no response. And as we all know, in typical stories, something usually happens at the third day. So on the third day, the town crier went, gong, gong, gong. Someone needs help. And there was an old lady that came out from a hut. What did the old lady say? Do we want to know what the old lady said? Do we want to know what the old lady said? Come on, guys. I'm all about communication, okay? I'm all about communication. I need responses. Do we want to know what the old lady said? So if you want to know, you can just type a yes on the chat box. Do we want to know what the old lady said? Okay, so the responses are coming in. Great. So the old lady said, town crier, I foresee that in the next 5 days, something is going to happen. And what will happen? We'll come back to that. Okay, we'll come back there. So we are taking a look at business analysis and agile project management and how you can move into any of this path. Just like the old lady, there's something that she's going to say in the story. I'm going to come back to the story anyways, okay? I'm going to come back to the story. So we are going to see how we can make that switch. And of course, how man A and man B actually affects us. Because at this moment, it might seem like just a random story. No, it isn't. There's something that we all can get from that story. We are waiting on the old lady. Which of these career paths are you interested in? Some of us, we are looking to be business analysts, and some of us, we are looking to become agile project managers. These are both fantastic career paths. And what we've done earlier for the past 45 minutes to an hour is that we've been able to see how you can leverage JIRA in your role. Now, there are other tools that you can use. That is not the only tool. There are other things that you can use. But we just got to see a snippet for you to understand, oh, this is what it takes. It's serious business. And these two career paths are absolutely wonderful. They're fantastic. They're amazing. And what are they amazing? What is unique about them? The fact that there are so many opportunities available for you, and for you. Okay? There's an opportunity available for Blessing. There's a space available for Femi. There's a space available for Isaac, a place for Jack Quillen as well, a place for Josephine, and a place for Moody. There's a place for each and every one of us. And this is due to the analysis that was carried out by the World Economic Forum, where they came around and they said, you know what, let's go ahead to carry out a research, which they do every 2 years, which will show the future of jobs. jobs that are going to decrease in terms of opportunities, and those that would increase in terms of opportunities. So you get to know the right place for you, and that you don't go ahead to learn a skill that is no longer relevant in the near future. So you're looking to apply for a job, or let's say you have this, let's say so let's say you maybe let's say you are a chemical processing plant operator, for example, and then in the next 2 months, or in the next 2 years, or next 3 years, you go ahead to apply for a job, and you're hearing things like, oh, this is no longer available, we no longer do this, there are tools now that can do what you can do. And so that when you want to make that switch, you want to make that transition, that you are actually picking what is right for you. And that where there's so many opportunities, that if you decide to apply for over 100 jobs per day, it is very, very possible. It is feasible, but very, very possible as well. Okay, so these are the left. At the left, what you find at the left are the jobs that are going to increase with time. And what you find out by the right are those that are going to decrease with time. Now, maybe this is related to the story I mentioned, the left and the right. Man A took the left path and man B took the right path. Is this related to the story though? Because from the story, we're probably thinking man A is going to end up doomed, while man B is going to be victorious. That might all just be maybe bait. Okay. But anyways, we'll get back to the story. So as a business analyst, if you take a look at the left, like I was saying, you see there are so many opportunities in there. You have the AI and machine learning specialist, which of course a data scientist can function in. You have the information security analyst, which of course a cybersecurity professional can function in. You have the data analyst and data scientists, the data engineers. But what we are focused on right now is the business analysis and the agile project management. And so when you take a look at the process automation specialist, you see that this is actually a business analyst role. Because as a business analyst, you can also function as a process automation specialist. There are so many roles that are available for you as a business analyst, and business data analyst is one of them. Process automation specialist is another example, and we get to take a look at some of these things later on. And don't forget about the agile project management. As an agile stroke, as a Scrum Master stroke agile project manager, you are also sure of getting numerous opportunities. Because when you take a look at this, you're going to see project managers. And mind you, this is not your mundane project management. This is not talking about the waterfall. That's the PMP. This is more tilted towards the agile, because many organizations are tilting towards being more flexible and more adaptable in current times. And so if you do decide that you want to be a business analyst, if you do decide that you want to be an agile project manager, you're good to go. You are actually on the right path. On the right path. The left path and the right path. Which of them is wrong? Which of them is right? But really, who is a business analyst? Because some of us, this might not be so clear. Some of us, we don't understand what it takes to be a business analyst. Some of us, we don't understand what it takes to be an agile project manager. But I'm going to go through all of these things. But something I would like to address before I move on is the fact that it is possible. It is possible for you to be able to make that switch and for you to get a job. It's possible for you to see a new destination and for you to take the right path that will get you there. This is not just me saying things. This is not just me saying the right things, because of course, you would not expect that ISISA is going to come on the call and ISISA is going to say things like, oh, you know what, it's not possible. It's impossible for you to make that switch. If you're looking to transition, it's difficult. I'm going to say it's great, but don't take my word for it. Rather, listen to the people that have been able to make that switch, that were previously where you are currently, and they've been able to get to where you're looking to get to, and how they were able to get this done. I'm talking about the over 2,500 individuals that we've been able to help transition from the classroom into their first job in tech. What does that mean? We're not saying we've helped over 2,000 individuals to learn tech. No, we are saying that we've helped over 2,500 individuals get their jobs, get their first jobs first jobs. That means that you were not working in tech before. It's not like you had previous experience, but we are able to help them make that switch into getting a career in tech. Talking about Lois. Lois was an accountant and procurement specialist with zero experience in tech, zero. But she joined our business analysis program, and right now, Lois has gotten a job as a business analyst in the UK after completing the training program. You can listen to Lois. This is not me. Like I said, you know what? You don't have to take ISIS's word for it. Okay? You can go ahead to listen to those people, how they were able to make the switch. For you to get access to this, okay, for you to get access to the slides, the recordings, and all of that, you have to ensure you fill the attendance form. Very important. So many persons that have been able to make that switch. Talking about Ngozi. Ngozi was able to make a switch. This is Ngozi. Now, if you listen to Ngozi, you're going to see Ngozi is currently on her workstation. Ngozi said that she wanted a job in tech, that she could work remotely. She didn't want to have to go to the office every day. She wanted to relax. Ngozi eventually got a job. Okay, and this was just about a month ago after completing the training program here at Analytics. And you can listen to Ngozi. You can see Ngozi's headsets on our workstation. This is the dream of many of us. This is the destination that many of us are trying to get to. There are people that have been able to do that. You can do that as well. How we are able to help Ololade become a permanent resident in Canada using our experience as a data scientist with Analytics. How we're able to help Bukola land a job as a people data scientist with a company in Poland. Poland, that many persons say, oh, you know what, there are no jobs in Poland. Getting a job in Poland is difficult. We've been we actually have Benga. Benga got 2 jobs in Poland, 2 jobs, and he had to pick which of them he wanted to do. And this is Poland that they said there are no jobs. Tech is a global opportunity. So many, there's so many, sometimes I can't even fathom the opportunity in tech. Because if you go on, let's say you're in the UK, and you go on read.co.uk right now, while we are often on this call, and you search for business analyst roles, or you search for agile project management roles, you are going to see nothing less than 100 new roles that were uploaded to this, that were uploaded to the site just today. Just today. So when you go over to the site tomorrow, you're going to see another 100. And the jobs that you would see on read.co.uk is different from the jobs that you see on LinkedIn. The job you see on Indeed is different from the jobs that you see on Inbuilt. So many opportunities waiting for the picking. So many persons we've helped. I don't want us to spend more time than necessary to break down each and every one of those people's, each and every one of their stories. As soon as you get the slides, listen to them, how they're able to make the switch. All you need to do, just click on the link and you go ahead to watch the testimonial. Listen to them, how they were able to make that switch and how you can also do that. So many testimonials, over 2,500. Okay, and recently we also got into the Alberta Catalyzer program because what's our mission? What's our mission here at Analytics? Our mission is not to just, to just have a business. No, there's a reason why we started Analytics. There's a mission. We have a mission and we have a vision. And what is all of that? What is that about? It's about helping you transition into tech because we took a look at the tech industry. We took a look at the entire ecosystem. And we noticed that we don't have as many Black individuals as we would want, people of African descent. When you take a look at all the jobs, maybe take a look at what is termed survival jobs or other careers, then you see lots of Africans. But when you take a look at tech, you take a look at the sweet roles, the roles that you are smiling while walking, the roles that you can decide to be on the rooftop in Greece and you're walking, just like one of our participants said in one of the testimonials. That's what drives us. How we can help you make that switch into that path that you want. And so we are always looking for ways to take what we do to the next level to ensure that we are in a better position to help you achieve your goals. This is what drives us. and you want to be a part of this. But like I said, who is a business analyst? Because of course we want to be business analysts, we want to be agile project managers. But one thing that we have to do, we have to understand what it takes to actually be able to carry out that role. We have to ensure that we understand what the role is actually about. Because it's just like you saying you want to be a pilot, but when you're asked what does a pilot do, you have no idea. Then you probably want to sink that plane, or maybe, oh, sorry, that's you sink ships and you crash planes. Okay, so you probably want to crash that plane, so not sink the plane. So if you're a captain, then you would be talking about sinking ships. So who is a business analyst? What do they do? It's easy. It's straightforward, to the point. A business analyst is that professional that would help you make your company better. Easy, simple, and sweet. A business analyst is someone that is going to take you from where you are at the moment to where you want to be. A business analyst is someone that will come in and take your company to the next level. A business analyst is an individual that will take a look at your company from afar and say, oh, this is what we need to do. That is what we need to do to get us to that point where we want to be. A business analyst is a professional who is going to go ahead to analyze an organization's business processes, the systems, and the stakeholders to identify keyword improvements and solutions to business challenges. A business analyst is a magician that says the word abracadabra. Okay, a quick example of what a business analyst will do is to help a company that is struggling in terms of delivery, helping them to reduce the delivery time to get more customers. Let's say you are currently doing 100 orders per day. 100 orders per day. That's your limit. That's your max as an organization. But you want to move to the next level. You want to make more money. You need to be able to reduce your delivery time so you can take in more customers and make more money. So the business analyst can come in and say, what are we doing at the moment? How are things working for us at the moment? What are we doing that is actually making us to just have a limit of 100? And what can we do to improve on that so we have a limit of 200, a limit of 300? The business analyst can take a look at the current state, what we call the current state. What are we doing? Oh, so a customer wants to purchase an item, they go ahead to make a phone call to say, oh, you know what, please, I want to buy this item. And then, of course, the staff manually writes down, the staff checks if it's available, the staff do this. Very manual. You can see staff. And then the staff goes ahead to call the courier, or what people call rider, that is dispatch riders, to get the item and deliver it to the customer. That takes 3 days. 3 days. And in the current delivery, in the current logistics, the logistics industry, what would set your business apart is your delivery time. We have organizations nowadays that are doing what we call cracking logistics, making things that you order for an item right now, you get it in the next 20 minutes. You order for an item, you get it in the next hour. For Amazon, for instance, Amazon has same delivery. That's same day delivery. If you go ahead to, let's say you order for pizza, or you order for food items, maybe you are hungry and you just, you order in. That is going to get delivered to you max 30 minutes, except if maybe there are some issues. So as a company that deals in logistics, you cannot afford to take 3 days to deliver items to your customers. And so the business analyst takes a look at how to shorten that time into 5 hours so you can increase your delivery, increase the number of customers you have, and of course, make more money. All of those things will be done using tools. Tools such as your Draw.io, tools such as your Lucid Chart, your JIRA, which we've learned about today, would be used when the order management system, which the business analyst is going ahead to recommend, is actually being built. So when the system is now being built, we now work with another tool called JIRA or JIRA. So if I say JIRA or say JIRA, please know I'm talking about the same thing, okay? Anyways, so as a business analyst, you are very much in tech. It's not about thinking. Yeah, you're going to think a lot, but you're going to document it a lot. You're going to work with a lot of tools. And what tools am I talking about? I'm talking about tools like your Excel, your Power BI, and your SQL, which will give you the flavor that many recruiters want of a business analyst that has a taste of data analytics, a business analyst that smells like a data analyst, a business analyst that can function in a role called the business data analyst. And that is the reason why at the start of the program, you get to learn about your Excel, you get to learn about your Power BI, your SQL, to give you what you need for you to have that flavor of analytics. And after we are done with that, what is the next thing? The next thing is you go into business analysis. Remember, I talked about something. I said that the business analysis is actually what? A magician. The secret word, the magic word of a business analysis is what? Abracadabra. So how do you go ahead to learn how to do the magic? By starting with your process planning. You move to your project initiation planning. That's how you can actually start a project. So we want to start a project in the organization. What are the things that we need to do? The process mapping is actually an example of what I showed you previously, which is talking about the current state and the future state. You move into your Agile and Scrum for projects because as a business analyst, you are going to be working in Scrum teams and in Agile teams. So you need to understand the Scrum framework so you're able to function in that team. We move to the SDLC, the requirement fundamentals, how you get requirement from stakeholders regarding any projects that the company is working on. And then, of course, you have your elicitation, your stakeholder analysis and engagement, and don't forget your AI for business analysis, because they don't want to be left behind. AI is now used to improve efficiency and productivity. So as a business analyst, you want to be delivering something that's supposed to take you 5 hours in 2 minutes because you don't want to be left behind. ChatGPT for business analysis. And as a business analyst, there are different paths you can take. You can work as a process automation analyst. You can work as a business process analyst. You can work as a business data analyst. You can work as a process improvement analyst. You can work as so many more areas. And so you can work in so many more areas. And so you are not boxed up. You can apply to so many opportunities. A lot and lots and lots of potential. Who is an Agile project manager? An Agile project manager is now what you like to call, let's say, the mascot. Now, why do I say the mascot? Because the mascot is usually like a servant leader. We know mascots. So let's say you go to a basketball game, you see someone that, is dancing and trying to ensure that the team is playing well and that everyone is doing well. Okay. So they are trying to cheer up the team, ensure that everyone is geared up for the game, that the players are top notch and everything is going well. And they also have some sort of command in detecting the flow of the game by doing different things. That is I think that's an analogy that we could use to describe an Agile project manager. An Agile project manager is a team lead, but an Agile project manager is not the team lead, in most cases anyways. Now, what do I mean by that? A team lead, the team lead. The team lead is that person that is in charge. The team lead is the person that says sit and you sit. They say go, you go, and they say fly and you fly. Okay. The team lead is who got, the person that guides the team, ensures that everyone is doing their work, everyone is, is doing well. But what about a team lead, which the Agile project manager then falls in? A team lead, in this case, the Agile project manager, is the person that is leading the team, but you are leading the team as a servant. You are there to ensure everyone is doing what they should do, but you don't have that. You don't really have that. Let's say that's authority, like what like what maybe the COO will have, what maybe the overall manager would have. You have the authority when it comes to the project, but not in terms of the individuals. So you decide what goes on in the project. Or this is what we are going to work on. This is what we are going to work on. But you're not the person in charge of the people. That's the reason why it's called the servant leader. You're meant to ensure everyone is working well because agile is very flexible. That's one good thing about agile. With agile, you're flexible. The company can say, oh, you know what? So why don't we add in this new feature? With agile, you're adaptable. And one thing that flexibility can lead to is chaos. Because if we have, and one example I love to use to explain what agile is all about is the washing machine. You want to wash clothes. Many persons on the call probably wash clothes, except if maybe you dry clean. And even if you dry clean, whoever you paid is still going to wash the clothes. So at the end of the day, everyone washes clothes. Okay? So when you want to wash clothes, what do? You place it in the washing machine and then you wash. After washing, you then do what? You rinse. And after rinsing, you do what? You spin. After spinning, you then dry. That is what you do. You have to wash before you rinse. You can't wash and rinse at the same time. That is waterfall. That is the situation. That is the framework that many organizations used previously. Now companies are now more flexible. So instead of washing, rinsing, spinning, and drying, you are now washing, spinning, rinsing, and drying all at the same time. Imagine this. You put your clothes, okay, le vêtement, if you speak French, you put your clothes in the washing machine, and then you go ahead to what? You go ahead to wash. And then as you're washing the clothes are also as you're washing the clothes are also it's rinsing up, it's spinning all at the same time. So if you were supposed to use 1 hour to wash your clothes or for them to dry, you're not going to use something like 15 minutes because everything is happening at the same time. That is agile. So that when you bring it out, you're like, oh, it's not clean enough. It's easier to do all of those things again because you spent only 15 minutes. So unlike when you have to wash, rinse, and dry, then after drying, you see the clothes are not clean down, you have to follow that entire process. So you can see the delay. So that's why in Agile, especially in Scrum, you have multiple iterations. But about the chaos I talked about, the fact that you are washing, rinsing, spinning, and doing all of that at the same time could lead to some kind of destabilization. Same thing in an agile team. The fact that everyone is trying to work at the same time. So let's say the designer just designed the home page of the application and they sent it across to the developer. So while the developer is working on the home page, the designer is now working. So because the designer does not have to wait for the developer to be done. So let's say you have different sprints and all of that. So for this sprint, let's say it was about the home page. So the designer went ahead to quickly design the home page. The developer works on it quickly, unlike what they'll do previously, that the designer has to design the entire application before the developer starts building. But now, since it's agile, the developer, the designer goes ahead to design just the home page, and then for that sprint, the developer goes ahead to work on the home page and to build the application. And then for second sprint, so the designer is now working on another page of the application, but then there's something that the designer added that to this new page that is supposed to link up to the home page. So that's not like the developer now has to go back to what he has done before to start trying to put things together and all of that. So that can lead to people, saying, oh, why didn't you do this previously? Tensions in the team, chaos, like I said. And so, as the agile manager, it's not your duty to ensure that everyone is doing well. That's as a scrum master in this example I'm using. As an agile project manager, you can function as a scrum master. So, as a scrum master in this situation, you're not ensuring that everyone is, doing well, that they're doing what they should do. That if there's disputes, it's attended to, and all of that. Okay, so due to the fact that there's now increased tendency for chaos, so you now need someone that is going to come in to manage the entire team. So you are serving the people to ensure that they are doing well, that they are working well by being their leader. And that's what I meant by the agile project manager being a leader and not the leader. That's just my own analogy, anyways. I don't think you'll get that anywhere. Okay. But yeah, so It's a very great career path, as we can see. So we can see the traditional project management, everything I just explained, using the what? The washing analogy. Okay. But now, due to the fact that you're doing different things at the same time, you can get things done even faster. And what do you need to be an agile project manager? You need to understand the different agile frameworks. Okay, talking about the Scrum, talking about the Kanban, talking about the Lean, learning how to manage your team, learning how to be a leader while at the same time being a servant, working with the tool, sorry, working with tools such as Confluence, such as JIRA, such as Trello, and of course we also have Asana in there. How to develop your Gantt charts and all of that. That's what you need. There are different types of Scrum events, how you can go ahead to your agile metrics and how you can report all of those things, the full package. Okay, and as an agile project manager, there are different areas you can function in. You can work as a Scrum Master, you can work as a Scrum Team Facilitator, an agile coach, a lean agile coach, an agile project manager, a lean project manager, so many more, so many opportunities. And what would make you stand out? What would make you seen? Because it's one thing for you to learn the skills, but you don't just want to learn the skills. You want to ensure you have a great portfolio that would ensure that recruiters see you. I see you. I see you. You need the portfolio. And that's the reason why in the program, you get to see how you can build a portfolio, number one. And during your internship, you are going to be from the classes down to your internship, you're going to be working on fantastic projects. For example, one of the projects you work on during your internship, and this goes for the business analysts and the HR project managers, is that you are actually going to build an application from scratch. You are going to have a real team in a real environment that I'm talking about, having the business analysts in the team, the scrum masters in the team, the developers in the team, the designers in the team, actually working on an actual application. An actual application. This is not, oh, we're just going to be working on the application in our mind's eyes. No, it is actually going to be built. So you get to understand what it really takes to function in that role. And you get to have hands-on experience. And of course, you have a fantastic project, the application that you can add into your portfolio for when you're going out there to sell yourself. Fantastic. But why do some persons not get the job? I talked about a story, man A and man B, which I'll get back to. Okay, man A taking a certain path, man B taking a certain path. Just like that, for some of us, we know people that have taken some paths, some persons that have done some certain things, and at the end of the day, they did not really succeed in that thing. And we're wondering, would that be the same case for us? If this person could not do it, why would I be able to do it? The reason why most persons go ahead to learn go ahead to get a tech skill, and at the end of the day, they don't get a tech job anyways, is because they are missing the other crucial element. I'm talking about the other 50%. Because for you to get a job, it takes two to tango. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the technical skills and the employability skills. 50 plus 50 is what will get you the job. And because of that, we understand that you need to get a job. I talked about our mission, what we are looking to achieve. We are not here to just get you the skills. No, we are here to help you land that job. So we understand that you need the other 50%, which is very, very much crucial, I must add, that would get you what you're looking for. And that is why we have the different levels. I'm talking about the level one, where you begin with what? The CV review. The CV review session would ensure that you have a great CV, a CV that says fantastic, a CV that shines so bright that you can't even take a look at it, a CV that from afar everyone just has to what I don't know, I think what's the phrase now? Is it dobale? Okay, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Okay, like you give some respect. You give some respect to the CV. A fantastic CV. So many persons go ahead to send CVs And like I always say, the recruiter does not even know you exist due to the fact that there's an ATS in there that as soon as you click on send on your CV, the ATS does the opposite. It clicks on delete. So you're sending a CV, the ATS is saying there's no way you're coming to get a job. You're waiting for an opportunity thinking that you got a chance when the recruiter does not even know if there's a kind of person like you. It's harsh, but it's the reality. And so your CV needs to pass two roadblocks. Your CV needs to pass the ATS, and your CV needs to get to the hand of the recruiter. And then when the recruiter sees your CV, they know you are the one for the job. Like I said, your CV needs to shine brightly. So much so that there needs to be a veil to cover it. So precious, so amazing, so fantastic. Your CV needs to be top quality. The CV review session would ensure that you are equipped with all of those things. The CV review session would show you how you can convert whatever experience that you had previously into valuable experience because you are looking to make a switch into a new career path. But what you were doing previously does not really relate to that career path. Or really, does it not relate? We get to show you how you can convert that experience that you think it's useless into valuable experience to ensure that you are already on the right path. And you have to have your LinkedIn optimized. LinkedIn is a place where recruiters are plenty. And I'll repeat, LinkedIn is a place where recruiters are plenty. I can't count the number of times I've recruited people from LinkedIn to work with me on projects when I'm working on a project with an organization. And this is me. I'm not HR. Okay, I'm not HR. It's not like I'm recruiting you to join the organization or something. No, I have a project I want to work on. I want you to work with me on a contractual basis. We talk about the fee. I pay you handsomely, and then we go ahead to work on the contract. I don't have the time to go ahead to start searching for, to place job ads, to go ahead to say, you know what, I need you to, a job ad out there that says, employ if you have the skills. I don't have the time for that. What do I do? Simple, easy, straight to the point. I go on LinkedIn and I search. Let's say I need an agile project manager in my team. I go ahead and I search for agile project manager. And then I see a bunch of profiles. I pick those that are calling to me. There are certain things your profile needs to contain that would make me click on it because there are so many profiles. I can't click on everyone. But there are some things that your profile needs to have that would make me click. I'm not saying that will make me reach out to you, just for me to click on your profile, at least to take a look at your profile and to see if you are the one for me. These are some secrets which we'll share later on anyways. So when I click on the profile, I then take a look at the features. Does this person have the skills I need? And if I think you have the skills, what do? I send you a message. So I can send a message to anyone with my LinkedIn account. So I send you a message, an email. And then what happens? I tell you so I took a look at your profile. I think you're a good fit for this role. If you're interested, I give you the job description, send me your CV. And then you send in your CV. I take a look at the CV, then we have an interview. And then if we do decide to go ahead, we get into business. Easy as sometimes I can get someone within a week. Within a week. Okay, so it's not fictitious. It's very real. Okay, so that is one thing that you stand to gain from LinkedIn. The fact that so many people can reach out to you, but there's no, your profile needs to be top notch. There are certain things that we look out for, and that's the reason why your LinkedIn needs to be optimized. So you're in a better position to get that job. And over nowadays, when you go ahead to send your CV, there's usually a LinkedIn link in there for the recruiter to actually take a look at your LinkedIn profile to know if you are really who you say you are. Some of us were not interested in all of this. Some of us, we just want to ball. Some of us, we are only just interested in working in our own times. We are interested in freelancing. If you want to be a freelancer, it's fine. It's fantastic. It's great. Upwork is a great platform for you. The Upwork optimization session will take you through what to expect, how you should go ahead to have a great profile, how you should spend your connect. Because if you're familiar with Upwork, you know that it uses a currency system. It's not any kind of job boards that you just go ahead to apply. No, you pay. You have to pay with real money. You have to pay. So you buy Connect using dollars. Okay. I think the last time I checked, 10 Connect was about $1.50, if I'm not mistaken. So you go ahead to what? To pay to apply for a job. And the fact you are paying to apply for a job does not mean you're going to get it. So it's not like, oh, you apply, you're going to get it. No, because you're not the only one applying. So just the way you send your CV on LinkedIn, for you to send your proposal, they are called proposals on Upwork, you need to pay. So the Upwork session will show you how you can make the most out of what you have, how you can succeed as a freelancer, how you can get what's it called? How you can get clients to actually view your proposal and of course go ahead to get to the job. As long as you're a part of the program, either the business analysis or the HR project management program, you are going to have your Upwork optimized. And you also want to understand how the market works. Some of us, we are new to the country, just moved, and we really don't understand what goes on and what's how to when to apply for jobs, where to apply for jobs. Maybe you just moved to Poland, maybe you just moved to the US, you just moved to Australia, you just moved to, you just moved somewhere. Okay, and you really don't understand what does it take to succeed. Yeah, the navigating job markets will host professionals that have succeeded where you're looking to succeed, that will take you through what you need to do and what you should not do, and of course an interview prep, because we are not just get the interview. No, we are get the job. So as soon as you've done all of these things and you've gotten an interview, you can go ahead to prep for an interview session, a one-on-one session with a professional that will take you through what you should expect, how you should go ahead to answer questions, how you can portray yourself in the best possible way to ensure that the recruiter knows that you are the one for the job, how to ensure that your feet is not just in the door, but that your entire being is in that organization. And of course, reference letters. Many recruiters want to know, are you really who you say you are? You mentioned you did this. You mentioned you did that. Is it true? Can you point me to someone you've worked with? Can you point me to someone that can back you up? Someone that can tell me that, you know what, I'm about to make you the right decision. You're a fantastic professional. She's a fantastic professional, or he's a fantastic professional. I've worked with him. You can work with him. It's great. Is this, is that. As long as you're a participant or an alumnus with Analytics, you are very sure of this, that you are going to get reference letters whenever the need arises. And level 2, mentorship sessions. Mentors, mentors, mentors. Very important. That's the reason why weekly you are going to be mentored, show new things in the industry, new trends in the industries, new ways to apply for jobs. Maybe you're doing something that's not really working, where you get to speak with professionals that will tell you what you should do to put you in the right path. And you've gotten a job, but you need help. You've gotten the job, you were given a task that you're really not familiar with. You need someone that's going to go ahead to help tell you what to do. Or you know what? Why don't you go ahead to click on this? Why don't you go ahead to click on that? And you're going to be in the right path. You can always reach out to us and we'll provide you with what you need. We'll tell you, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. You go back to work and you do an amazing job. And another reason why you're going to be so much successful is due to the blended learning approach that we use here at Analytics. You get to learn in classes, having a one-on-one, having an interaction with your facilitator, whereby the facilitator is speaking, you are responding, you're working on case studies, you're getting experience, and you also get to learn with what we call the Watch Me Do It videos. As soon as you are part of the program, okay, you are going to be onboarded into the LMS. Okay, and then you get to have a list of videos that you get to watch that would introduce you to what you'll be learning in your classes. You also have Oluko in here, Oluko, an AI trainer that you can always leverage. So I'm sure we're all familiar with ChatGPT. With, like, for example, ChatGPT 4.0 is paid, Oluko is free. So this has been built by Analytics. There are so many things you can do with Oluko. You can decide to speak with AI. Maybe you don't want to speak with an individual, it's a human, it's fine. Okay, but if you want to reach out to someone, you have a network, people within you that you're going to help you in your journey. You have your colleagues, of course, you have the data associates, you have the senior data associates, you have the facilitators, everyone that's going to help you out in your journey. But let's say I want to, I want to speak with Oluko, I want to speak with AI, and I go ahead and I insert my name. I'm Aisha, of course. And Oluko goes ahead to say, my name is Oluko, which stands for teacher. Which of the categories best suits your current concerns? Maybe I have a code, I run a code that's not working and I need help. I can go ahead to select code-based issues. Maybe I have questions relating to career. How can I succeed in my career? This is what I'm doing at the moment. How do I move from this to this? I'm currently working in care. How do I move from care to become a major project manager? I'm currently working as a customer care rep. How do I move from this to become a boss? You can ask Oluko. And of course, if you don't want to speak with Oluko, you can also ask the professionals that will be working with you. It's great. It's fantastic. So many things. Okay, and of course, you also have the leaderboard to make learning fun, which of course you get to see how you rank with your peers, where you get to see where you are at every week. So you get to, just to make learning fun. You get your streak count, the number of times you visit the platform, and then of course you have your stats and also your badges. So for every assessment test you take, and then if you pass the assessment test within the platform, you are going to earn a badge. And these are badges that you can go ahead to share. This is Python. So this is this is a data engineering badge. Okay. So you can go ahead to share. Okay, so you can go ahead to see, you can download, you can share on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, any of them, to let people know that you can actually do this. Because one very important thing is the ability for you to build in public. You don't want to hide in your shell. You want to let the world know that you can do this so that you are open to numerous opportunities. Just the tip of the iceberg. More success stories. Like, I can spend the entire session going through the people we've helped. Okay. This is how we are able to help Busola. Busola ran the job as a performance analyst in Desjardins, Canada. Okay, this is how we are able to help Fola get a job as a business analyst with the government of Canada. Remember, I talked about Louis earlier. Louis that we were able to help to get a job as a project manager in the UK. So many persons. Okay, so Benham, we helped Benham get a job as an HR analyst in the US. Like, there's so much. You know what? Fill the attendance form. Fill that form so you get access to this later on, and you can read at your spare time. Okay, so you can read at your spare time. Abdul, so many persons, like, anyways, let's move on. Okay, so how can you be a part of all of these amazing things? How can you be a part of the mission? Because like I said, what is our goal? What are we all about? We are all about helping you. That's why we are always looking for ways to improve, to ensure that you are getting the best. For you to be a part of the next squad begins 2nd of November. All you need to do is register. Easy, simple, straight to the point. That's just it. It's very easy. It's something you can do right now at this moment while we are speaking at this moment. So be a part of all of these amazing things I've mentioned. And luckily, we are currently running a discount. A 20% discount for the first 20 persons to register. For you to be a part of the discount, you get to pay $600 instead of $750, which is actually the full amount. And my colleague is going to will be sending the payment details to the chat box now. So you can go ahead to, click on that link and go ahead to make payments. There are two ways you can make payments. You can make payments either using the website, using our website, or using what? Or using the Analytics Enrollment Center. Okay, so this is what the Analytics Enrollment Center looks like. Now, once you come over to the Analytics Enrollment Center, you get to see the discounts that we're currently offering. Okay, and then you can go ahead to make payments. Okay, you can go ahead to make payments. So let's say you want to register for, Asia Project Management, for instance. Okay, sorry. Let's say you want to register for age. Okay, here it is. Let's say you want to register for agent project management. So you can go ahead to click on what? Register. And then you can also pay in 2 installments. You can pay, you can make a full payment, okay? You can make one full payment, that's great. But let's say you're not able to do that and you want to split your payment into either 2 installments or 3 installments. It's still very much possible. All right. So we just wait for this to load. My bandwidth seems to be a bit low. Okay, so we're going to go ahead to what? To make payments. So you see, you can make payments. So let's say you want to make a one-time payment and you're part of the discount. So you can just go ahead to click on this and proceed to pay. Or you can make it you can make payments in 2 installments, talking about the first installment and the second installment, paying $200 each. Or you can also pay in 3 installments. Monthly 2 installment, that's $200 each. So this is automatic. So as soon as you make payment, you don't need to worry. Everything will be done in the background. You'll be debited, automatically debited at the end of the month. So you don't need to worry about keeping to deadlines and all of that. And maybe you're not in the US. So let's say you're in the UK, you're in Canada, you are in maybe you're in Australia, you're in Poland, you are in South Africa, you're in Kenya, okay, and you want to make payments. But the payment is in dollars. You don't need to bother. All you need to do, just go ahead to make payment. The local currency equivalent will be deducted from your account. So if you're paying in naira, that will be deducted from your account in naira. If you're paying in rupees, so let's say maybe you're in India, you're paying in rupees, that will be deducted from your account in rupees. If you're paying in pounds, deducted in pounds. Same thing for Canadian dollars and all of that. All right. So it's very important that you are a part of this, because I've went on and on the pair people where we've been able to help people, and you want to make that switch. At the moment, there's probably something that you are doing, and it's close to the end of the year. At the start of the year, you told yourself something. You said to yourself, I want to make a switch. I no longer want to do this. This is the career path I want to choose. It's October. Have you been able to make that switch? Have you been able to transition? If you've not, you have to click on that link right now and be a part of the people that will help make a switch, getting their first job in tech. I hope we enjoyed the session today. I hope we all enjoyed yourself. Okay, and I would still take questions. So if you have a question for me, maybe I can take a question or two. You can use the raise hand icon, okay? And I'll call on you to ask your question. All right. But I hope we enjoyed yourself so far. I hope we had a nice time. I don't think I completed my story now, did I? I don't think I completed my story. Okay, so I think we're gonna keep the story to another time. So this what when you're watching those movies or those series, and like next time next week on Super Story. That's a very popular one, especially if you're from Nigeria. Okay, if you're Nigerian, you should know about Super Story. Okay, so next time, next month, sorry, next week, as it said again, next time, next week on Super Story. Thank you very much, Woman of Zion. Okay, I'm glad that you enjoyed the session. Any question? If you have a question, you can use the raise an icon, and I will call on you to ask your question. Okay. I guess not. So before we call it a day, I want you guys to, just send something to the chat box. I usually give random things, but now I want you guys to just send something to the chat box, anything really, because I want to ensure that we are all that every time we are always on the same wavelength, and that we had a nice time. Okay, and that we enjoyed the story, and that we are looking forward to the continuation of the story, of the story anyway. Okay, so I'd like to hear from us. I would like to hear from us. Come on, guys. If we don't have questions, thank you very much, Femi. Okay, thank you, Femi. Thank you, Women of Zion. Okay, if we don't have questions, I would just like to, get see a thing or two. Okay, I think Promise has a question, so I'm going to take Promise's question. Promise, I'm going to ask you to unmute so you can ask your question quickly.
All right, thank you so much. I don't know if
Yeah,
our speaker is still here. The question is actually for him. And my
yeah, go
question
ahead.
goes that how do we carry out requirement traceability when we're actually working within Agile and on the JIRA platform particularly.
Okay. So regarding requirement traceability, there are different ways that you can actually do that. Of course, number one, you have to have gotten your requirements. And as a business analysts are mostly in charge of getting requirements. And there are different processes you can use in doing that, talking about your stakeholder meetings, and of course, using the Moscow to identify the requirements that are going to take a back seat. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to all right. So we take a look at those requirements. So you take a look at those requirements that will take a backseat and all of that. So now in pushing that to JIRA, they're going to be pushed to JIRA as acceptance criteria. That's number one. So all of those requirements are going to serve as your acceptance criteria. So let's say the CEO says, I want the application to be color yellow or the brand colors. That's one of the requirements from the stakeholders. So in your JIRA, on the acceptance criteria, you're going to have which the developer would work with. Platform should be yellow. Now, the developer has worked on that. How is the developer going to actually work on that? They're going to use what we call child issues. So they're going to go ahead to create child issues that would now contain how they are going to implement the color yellow in the application, and that will still be done on Jira. So when the developer is working on that what's it called, on that child issue, they get to move it from to do to in progress if they're currently working on it, and then after in progress to done. So while it is being moved, you are being notified that okay, currently we are working on these requirements. That's on this acceptance criteria. We're working on it at the moment, and then when it's done, it's finally done. And then of course we can take a look at the application, have testers test things out to ensure that everything is good. Now let's say it's in 2 months' time, you want to go back. You want to go back to that requirement to know, oh, what did we really do? Then you can go to your backlog. So you can go to your backlog and like bring them back. Because once sprint has ended in your Jira, it's going to push them, it's going to take them off your timeline and push them to your backlog. I believe it's backlog now. All right, so you can always get them from your backlog to take a look at what you've done. And you can also use things like your burnout chart, your burnout chart, also your burn down chart to see what the work rate was like for that sprint. Did we actually achieve our goals? Were people working? Were people lazy? And things like that. So those are some of the ways. There are still other areas. There's Jira, it's a whole lot. Okay, so there's a whole lot to learn as an agile project manager or as a business analyst. Promise. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, I will. I'll just take it from there. Take your words for it. So the first thing is to ensure prioritization using the Moscow
Yeah,
technique, and we get on
exactly.
Jira to ensure that we prioritize them using child issues, which breaks down the implementation using coded messaging, which could be broken down through color codes, and
Yeah.
from there we can then also break it down into to do, in progress, or done categorization. And another way to do that is to validate it with the QA testers. And we can also check that all the details are correct by going
Yeah.
through the backlog refinement. And we can also do that by checking the burn down charts to see how the work and assignments were properly done to validate that we met our goal. Does that really sound like what
Did you
it
did
should
you
be?
did you did you wait, okay. Did you take note of all of these things while I was
I
speaking?
was
Because
listening.
that's
Yes, I
amazing.
did.
That's really
Yes,
amazing. Yes, you are.
yes.
Those are all of the things I mentioned. You have a great
Yeah.
skill, promise, and I really have to tell you, your listening ability is top notch. I didn't expect you were going to get all of those things. Except maybe you have some knowledge previously. I don't know, but if you don't, then that is really great. Promise, that is really great. Okay. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for that. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Promise. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad we had a great time. I did have a great time as well. Don't forget, next week we'll take a look at the story. So next week, same time next week, I'll take a look at part 2 of the story between man A and man B. Ensure you go ahead to register as quickly as possible because, as I always say, quick says the clock. What you have to do, ensure you do quick. Cheers, everyone.